Hey guys, welcome to Onelife Podcast. Here with Peter with Forgotten Not Gone, which is what is that exactly?
So, Forgotten Not Gone is a 501c veteran for-purpose organization, and we engage in suicide prevention through veteran peer support, outdoor recreation.
Which is amazing. I saw you on Instagram. I had to find out more about what you did. When I got a little taste on what you did, I just wanted to know more. And I love what you're doing, and I think it's fantastic.
We got to get you out on the ride so you can experience the joy next.
So there's so many questions I want to ask you, and I'm not really sure where to start, but obviously you're a veteran yourself.
Retired Air Force.
How long did you serve for?
A little over 6 years, and then I was medically retired.
Yeah. What does that mean exactly?
I had a physical damage done to my body, and so I was no longer fit for service.
That's pretty common, isn't it? You got injured in the military?
Yes.
That's super common, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily the retirement. You know, most of us do get disabilities, but, you know, mine was so severe that they won't even allow me to stay in the military. So it's
Do you mind if I ask what happened? Or
I did security forces. So, you know, even when I was a young kid, 19 years old, carrying an M60 machine gun, bilateral knee damage, back spasms, autoimmune issues.
Just from the weight of it?
Yeah.
How much do they weigh?
Like 23 pounds, I want to say, like 44 inches long, something like that.
24/7 holding it on your... Yeah, okay, that's crazy.
So you got the M60 in one hand, and you got your can of grenades in the other one. So when you're running, sometimes those cans bang against your knees.
Gotcha.
It's just regular wear and tear on your body. It's a hazardous job, but it's a lot of fun.
What, were your parents military? What made you go that route?
Both my grandfathers. Yeah, they were both Army veterans, and I used to always see my grandfather's fatigues, in the garage. And it's just something different, in the Black community. Both my grandfathers were homeowners, and they had large families and all that. So I always thought that, hey, because of the military, my grandfather was able to raise a family, and it always excited me to say, hey, maybe if I do the same thing my grandfather, I could have a family and, a home and all that.
That's interesting. So and that's why you went the military route.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time, like while you were
healthy?
I
loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
The only challenge I had was just the lack of resources when I got injured. So I dealt with a lot of depression, and the disabilities got worse and worse because they weren't treated. So it was a lot of things I could have avoided had I had the right level of resources and healthcare that exists today.
And that's what kind of led you into what you're doing now.
Yeah, because I realized we can solve the problem. Everything that I went through is avoidable if we just have a hand up.
And the resources, like you said.
Yes,
what age were you when you got out?
Let's see. I went in when I was 18, so I had to be like 24. Yeah,
so
about 24.
You're pretty injured at an early age.
Yeah, by 19, I was already damaged and suffering a lifetime of pain ever since.
And then you came out and you're unable to work?
Yeah, that was a
challenge.
Like
any job?
Well, that was a challenge. So I did work for a number of years, but I since leaving the military, I've only had one job that I was there for 12 months. So I just never could be employed, but I was having physical limitations. Even when I worked at Citibank as a personal banker, it's a great job. I had to get, certifications and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm still experiencing the same disabilities I was in the military experiencing. So I'm sitting there at Citibank just locked up, my whole body incapacitated, and, that's not good for their business. So
okay.
Yeah.
And then it's is the military, like, forgive me for asking like general questions.
It's our pleasure, then.
But is the military paying you once you get out? Did you get any type of benefit?
Well, now I do. I'm retired, but that was another story. So when I first got out, I was just medically separated, so I didn't have access to the retirement benefits that I received today.
Okay.
I didn't get that until like 2018. I'm the first person in the country to win a federal lawsuit.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, there are actually some lawyers. Nevada Veteran Legal Service Program is a team of lawyers out of Washington, D.C. that took my case, and they actually filed a federal lawsuit against the government.
Okay.
And so they had to relook at my discharge, and then once they looked at it, I was able to get the full retirement benefits now. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
did they pay you back for?
Well,
like, what year did you go at? 2018, you got those benefits, but what year did you get out of the military?
When I got out of the military originally, I had like, I want to say they were giving me like $20,000.
Oh, no, sorry. I mean, like, what year was it?
What year? I got out in 2002, July 2002.
So you're talking 16 years without any help.
Yeah, that's why I was so depressed, I understand it.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like no financial aid, no support, no anything.
Yeah, that's why I was so depressed, because I went to work just like Citibank. It took me over 6 months to get all my certifications, and I really gave it my all. But now when I'm doing my job, I'm still having the same spasms and things that cause them to separate me from the military. So if I'm no good for working a 40-hour work week in the military, why do you expect, or how am I going to do that?
Transition into real life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be less understanding because
Less understanding.
Yeah. So, but that's where the depression was started for, because I felt like a worthless loser. I couldn't get it together. And so again, I can talk about it now and not feel so ashamed to tell you that, but that's where I was at,
When you say you felt worthless, just because you're young and able to do what you knew you could do mentally.
Yeah, physically.
Gotcha.
So we bought our house 6 months after getting here in 2000. So I was in there for 8 years, but because I was going from job to job, I couldn't afford it. And couldn't afford to take care of my wife. I was sick, throwing up blood, a whole bunch of doom and gloom stuff. But that's why there was the genesis of the depression, because I'm giving it my all. I'm not just sitting on my butt. And it just ain't good enough. And that's
that's probably the hardest thing, right?
Yeah, when you're giving it your all and you realize you just ain't got what it takes anymore. As a young person, that's a lot of mental turmoil.
I mean, if you're not trying, that's one thing, but if you're giving 110% and it's still not, that's crazy. So as far as the depression, what did you struggle with? Was it suicidal depression?
That was ready. About 2011 is when I said the hell with it. I was ready to check out.
Really?
Because from 2002 to 2011, I've given it my all, and it just wasn't good enough. So I said, the hell with it. What's the point of living?
So you just felt like you're butting your head against the wall. No matter what you did, wasn't taking you any further.
Yeah.
Did you have family support? Did you have anyone, was your wife in the picture at the time?
Yeah, she's been around, but she was going through her own demons as well. So you got two disabled veterans in a house, both suffering, and we're not able to be there for one another because we're both suffering.
It's trying to deal with your own problems.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you reach out to family or anything? Or
there's just not understanding. My parents love me and all that, but
So have you got to be? Would you say you've got to be ex-military to have that right understanding? Is that a fair statement?
I wouldn't say that, but because there's a lot of people that understand because they have somebody that served, or if you.
Okay. Yeah.
So unless
relatability.
That's right.
Okay.
Which allows you to be compassionate. So you realize that certain people are struggling with mental health, but could you be a decent person to realize that, hey, this guy may not be all the way up right upstairs. However, I could show him some kindness and compassion to help him navigate past that pain.
Okay.
And that's all it takes, So if if you have somebody in your family that you loved, that served or whatever, a lot of times those same people can now show us kindness because they when they look at me, they're looking at their family members.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So what happened? How did you break past that, and how did it inspire you to help others like you are now?
Well, I got a SOS in the mental hospital at Nellis Air Force Base. So I was on a medical hold for suicide for 11 days.
Did you try anything that you're on? Did you try to commit suicide? And
I was ready to go. I had the gun.
I mean, had you? Okay, so you hadn't tried ODing or anything like that.
I just had the gun. I was ready to go.
So who checked you in? Who?
One of the veterans, Vietnam era veterans, was able to talk to him on the phone. And he talked me off the ledge, and he said, "Hey, this is what you need to do."
Okay.
And I just listened to him, and that's kind of what we need. We need that next generation to tell us what to do. I'm struggling. I'm going through. I'm not thinking rationally. Show me what to do, and that's what that veteran did for me.
What made you reach out to that person? Were you reaching out? Was it just sheer luck having that conversation at that time?
Yeah, I reached out to him, but I had really.
But you're right on the edge, right?
Well, because before that, a couple of months, he was telling me what I need to do, and I was too ashamed to go to mental health and all that stuff.
Okay.
But that day was just like, hey, to hell with this, I'm done, and I'm glad I called him. But it's a beautiful thing when I'm talking. This guy's name is Frank Greenwood. He's in northern Nevada.
Okay.
But dealing with this veteran. His wife one day, and I was talking to him when I was going through what I was going through, talking to him on the phone. His wife, he said, "Peter, I got to call you back later on. My wife passed away this morning." I was like, he's been talking to me 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
His wife is dead in the other room.
Oh, Jesus.
And he was in the process of cooking for a veteran nonprofit. But that was really a revolutionary change in my life. And I realized this veteran's catching hell as well. But how he's able to deal with that is by a service over self, by being around other veterans. And that's what really changed it for me. Seeing that senior veteran show me the way.
Selfless.
Yeah.
If you ever could describe selfless, that would be it, right?
Well, that's what we need. We need a new purpose. I can't do security forces. I'm not the macho guy that I once was in that type of environment. I've been reduced to not being able to walk without a cane, physical limitations. So it's a lot of turmoils because it's identity crisis, right?
When you say identity crisis, do you feel like less of a man?
Yeah.
Would that be the right way to put it, or how would you describe it?
Just like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm known for physical. That's who my identity is: protecting people, the property of the Air Force, the planes and all that. And now I'm sitting there, struggling to get around my house, falling to the ground. And
I feel like I can relate in a tiny sense. I'm a 220-pound guy. I'm 42. I'm healthy. I'm strong. But when I've been injured, or when I've not been able to walk properly, or get out of bed, or had an infection, I feel less of a man. I feel like I can't help myself, never alone somebody else.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, like, that's just been dropped on your head overnight, and you're like that forever.
That's the challenge.
That's got to be very hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't have. Yeah. And my biggest fear is to be paralyzed or to be permanently injured.
Yeah.
And I appreciate my health each and every day, and I don't take for granted. But you're on the same page, but you weren't even given that choice.
Yeah. That's why
that's really heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. But what doesn't kill you make you stronger, and that's kind of where we at right now. Is I can tell you about all the doom and gloom, or I could just show you what we've done to overcome it and how we've helped the next veterans. That's why I can talk to you in this matter right now, is because I'm living a life of service over self again. That's what the military was.
That's crazy.
But I think that's what we were designed to do, or me as an individual. I think, like, working at Citibank trying to chase money or get a corporate job, that's not me. What I'm doing right now is fulfilling my life's purpose. I feel just like I was in the military. And if I had this 10 years ago, I could have avoided all the psychotropics, narcotics, and all that other garbage.
Let me ask you this question. You see someone who gets paralyzed and they get permanently injured, and they become very happy and very selfless, and they seem to really love to inspire others, and that seems to be their true calling. Would you take it back, being where you're at now? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I know what you went through, but I know where you're at, and because of where you're at, you're able to help so many people. Yeah. Is that more important now than you having your health and not going through this in the first place?
I think only how I could do what I'm doing because I truly understand it on a personal level.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. We have those intangible skills. Since I know how it is to want to take your life, I understand depression from a personal level, and also seeing my wife go through the same struggles on that. That's only how I can do what I'm doing right now. I didn't get this knowledge in college. Right. Yeah.
So you having to go through that hardship makes you the person you are, able to have those conversations and
authentic.
Because
they see the pain when I'm talking to them. They can
I can feel it in you. I can feel the experience, the hardship you've been through. Yeah. That's crazy. So talk to me about what you guys are doing and how you got into it. So, like, the Forgotten Not Gone. Like, how does that work? How did you get started? Yeah. Where are you now?
So in 2011, that's when I was in the mental hospital at Nellis Air Force Base up there. So when I got out of there, I realized I didn't want to kill myself. I realized.
What was it?
Well, it was about the 9th day in there. So I was having spasms again. No matter how much pain these spasms cause is enough just to pull the trigger and be done with it.
Okay.
But I was constantly in that pain, and I had no way of relieving myself from the pain. So on the 9th day, I was actually, trying to break out the mental hospital, and they finally gave me some volume medicine, which helped me with the spasm. So that was day 9.
What was it?
Diazepam, which is volume.
Okay.
It's a muscle relaxer. But when I took that was the first night in 9 days that I got sleep. But then I realized right there, I'm not crazy. No, I'm suffering so much that I'm acting inappropriately because of the pain I'm in.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
And so you can criticize
me. How can you ever relate to that unless you've been in that pain?
Yeah.
When you say, are you talking like 9 out of 10 pain, 10 out of 10? Like,
yeah, beyond that, it's
really
it's so much pain that suicide is on the table.
Gotcha. So that seems like the better option than the way you're feeling.
Yeah,
How do you talk to someone about that?
Well, that's why we need people that went through it, so you can.
That's what makes you so valuable, right?
While I was in the hospital, it was funny. I was sitting there, I'm on Seroquel, all drugged up on this false hope, And I'm literally like sitting here, and there's like a bookcase, and I just grab over here the bookcase, and I just grab a book. It turned out to be the Bible. And when I opened up the Bible, it was the book of Peter, and that's my name, Peter. And I started reading it, and I started taking consideration. I've never read the Bible. My dad's an atheist. People tell you certain things about the Bible, but I've never actually read it for myself up to that point.
Into it yourself, yeah. Critically thinking for yourself and making your own decisions. Yeah.
So that was the first time that I said, well, when I got home after I got out the mental hospital, this is the first time I actually got on my knees and prayed. And I didn't understand anything about the Bible. I didn't understand that when I was praying, I was facing the east. I didn't understand these concepts and all that stuff. But I just asked that if God be true, to give me a reason to live. I wasn't questioning him. I have no purpose to live right now. And that's what my problem is. It says
what have you got to lose by trying, right?
That's what it was.
Okay.
But I was honest with myself that says, I've never read the Bible. So I could be like my dad and say the Bible doesn't exist or it ain't real and all that, or I could read it for myself. And the reason why I came to that is the people that was the best of service to me during my military, service, they all believed in the Bible.
Okay.
And so the kindest people, my supervisors, even though we have a different viewpoint of the world and all that, just because he treated me so kindly and that impression that people had, I said, let me at least read the book. And so
you can't help but take notice when the right people around you are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was on that day I made a commitment to God and said if he'd be true and he'd give me a reason, that I would serve him. And that's really a year later. From that time, this was like October 2011. So by 2000, I started reading the book, went to church, and then all that. Then I stopped going to church 6 months later.
Yeah,
that's a whole different story. But I realized, that has nothing to do with the Bible. It's just traditions of men.
Yeah.
But when I from that literally a year to the date, about September 2012. Is when I was actually reading the Bible and started understanding certain concepts. Certain veterans told me what to read in the Bible, and I started doing it. But it's the first time we start keeping the Sabbath day holy. So we take off Friday to sundown, Saturday sundown. And so from that point, 2012 to right here is 10 years later?
Yeah.
This is my 10-year challenge. I picked up the Bible, I read it, I applied it to my life, and here I am talking to you.
That's crazy, isn't it?
But it's hard to explain that to people because I already understand where people's viewpoint of the Bible is. All I'm saying is just what I've done.
Okay.
This gave me peace. It's gave me comfort. It's given me understanding those scriptures. And so we say from the VA drugged me up with Seroquel. So what we say is scriptures over Seroquel. That's the SOS.
that's I like that.
Yeah. So they were giving me Seroquel over solutions at the VA. And now I got scriptures over Seroquel now.
Okay.
Yeah, to hand up SOS.
Is it what is it a non-profit? Or how do you summarize what it is you actually do?
So we're a 501c veteran for-purpose organization.
What does that mean exactly?
So people that donate to our organization, they have the ability to have a tax write-off by donating and supporting a nonprofit.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's, like in a simple way, it's like a military nonprofit.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Okay, yep. For veterans.
That's right. Exclusively for veterans and their family members.
Okay. So the people you're helping, are they people going through pain like you did, or it's people going through pain, people going through depression, people feeling isolated, no one to turn to?
Yeah.
Is it kind of everybody?
Yeah, it's all different types of trauma people are going through, but we're also helping people that don't think they need the help. Because everybody thinks they're all good and, hey, I don't need that, I'm not depressed. Well, why are you drinking so much? Why are you at odds with your family if your life is so good? So sometimes we got to get rid of that ego.
How do you address that? How do you find that person who?
By just keep showing up. Like this morning, we were at 8 o'clock at the YMCA North Las Vegas doing an event. We just keep showing up, and we just saying the same story. We got solutions over suicide. Here's your hand up SOS. All you got to do is show up.
So by you showing up, them showing up, hopefully you come a connection, and you're able to identify because you're doing it for so long.
Yeah.
So you start to see warning signs. Would you say, or consistent symptoms?
Well, you could see that, that we could start seeing from one another that we are dealing with certain things, even if we don't understand it.
Do you identify people before they do, though, just through experience?
Sometimes. Well, we're not about psychoanalyzing people. We truly are veteran peer support.
Okay.
So I'm just
someone to come to.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to be all up in your business unless you want to talk about it. We had some veterans been with us for years That wasn't until the third year that, hey, you know, I was addicted to narcotics or heroin.
Oh,
No, you never told me
so it
that.
takes that long. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it something comes to mind? Like you're talking military, you're talking man's man, you're talking
Yeah.
ego. Is it hard for a guy like that to
Yeah.
communicate? I feel like that's harder.
It is.
Australians are very like brute man. We
Yeah.
hold our feelings to our chest.
Yeah.
I see the way my dad is. Like we don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure military guys are exactly the same, if not worse.
That's what we were talking about, the identity crisis. We're holding it in.
How do you get past that? How do you get someone to not necessarily drop their guard, but how do you get someone to drop their guard?
Well, you know, when we get on our bikes, you know, we start riding, when you start pedaling, it's that mind-body connection, that adrenaline flowing and all that. Especially when we're taking hills, going 30 miles an hour or whatever downhill, you're getting that adrenaline on a bike. You know, you're having fun.
So people start to open up more.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a unique thing because, again, I don't have to psychoanalyze them. I provide the resource. They get on it. We start having fun, and we're making progress.
Okay, so tell the audience the bike side of it. What do you do exactly?
So we maintain a fleet of 60 different type of specialized bicycles. They're known as recumbent trikes. Just like we're sitting down right now.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a recumbent, and your feet are in the front. So they're 3 wheels, 2 in the front, 1 in the back.
Why those bikes and not the million other options you had out there?
Well, when I went to part of the 2011, after I got the mental hospital, the VA finally gave me some resources. I was able to go to the War-Related Illness Center. That was in Palo Alto at Stanford Hospital in Northern California.
Okay.
So when I went, I was in there for a week in the hospital, and they did a comprehensive report on me. And one of the solutions they said for, you know, mental health and physical limitations was a recumbent trike.
Okay, so it started with you.
Yeah, with the VA, you know, I give them their credit. They, you know, told us that, so they wrote the prescription. When I came back here to Las Vegas, they says, I don't know what you're talking about. We're not buying you no bike. Yeah, so, you know, a year later, though, we ended up taking out a personal loan and was able to buy our first 2 bikes. That was September 2013.
Okay.
So that was before this. We weren't planning on starting a nonprofit. It's just once we got it, I started healing so much better and was able to start communicating.
So you did for yourself.
Yeah, then you realize that, hey, even if a veteran can't afford it, because our bikes are expensive, you know, some like our Velmobiles are $15,000.
Oh, they really?
The bike that I was with this morning, I did the demos on, that was an $18,000 bike. That's what our military discount. But so a veteran on his individual own accord may not be able to afford a bike. That's what we're all about. I already realized you can't afford these bikes because I gave you the top of the line bike. No matter what your physical limitations, you can get on one of our bikes. If you're missing limbs, somebody could pedal you on our tandem bikes.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you use hands and stuff too?
We got hand cycles as well.
Okay.
But as we said, out of the 60 different bikes we have a fleet of kids bikes. We have some 4-wheel bikes, so where you're sitting side by side, those tandem bikes like that.
So no matter what your injury or what type of circumstance you got on, there's a way of you getting out there.
Yeah.
That's how cool is that?
Yeah. We have one particular one of our supporters, you know, when we first got started, it was like 2014, our second Veterans Day parade, had a veteran in a hand cycle, you know, come out, but he's in a wheelchair. And so he was able to get out the wheelchair and transition into one of our what they call an ELF bike. It's
an ELF bike.
Yeah, it's organic transit, but it has a big shell on it. So he was able to transition in there. It took him some time, but his legs don't work at all. But he just pushed a button, and now it's propelling him forward.
Really?
And all of a sudden, this guy is smiling, but this young lady just started crying because, you know, she was a supporter of ours. She just sees us online, but she saw it right in front of her face. A depressed veteran, physical limitations, smile, and it was just priceless.
That's got to be the most rewarding thing ever, right?
Yeah, that's why we feel like we're a life of service again. Feel like we're actually making progress right now. That's why I can't stop smiling so much, because these are unbelievable realities, right? I thought I was just a worthless loser. Turns out that's not true. That's just half that's half the story.
You've found a deeper purpose. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That puts a big smile on my face, because I can imagine that.
Yeah. It's the opposite of being depressed, right? It's smiling. I say smiles over suicide. Another SOS for you.
So you got someone at home thinking they're not able to do anything, suffering pain, could be in a wheelchair, could have a disability, and you're now giving them a social environment, getting them outside, getting them active, and able to communicate, share experiences, and get support. That's a good way of summing it up, would you say?
Real simple. We don't complicate things. Mental health, when it comes to that, we got too many smart people in mental health.
And that's amazing. And that, like, when you're talking mental health, that is probably one of the biggest, I'd like to say cure, but one of the biggest solution you could probably do for someone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So you think about it, if right now of a veteran in your community, if he tells you, hey, I'm suicidal, I want to take my life. Okay, well, we'll take you to the crisis clinic. And then what are they going to do with you? They're going to double the dose or put you on some psychotropics or take away your freedom for a couple of days in a mental hospital.
Telling you not to exercise, not to do this. Whereas you're literally doing the opposite.
Yeah, we deal with, okay, you're suicidal today. I get it. I'm not here to say that you shouldn't feel that way at all, because I get it. Let's just do something about it. And now, veteran peer sport, outdoor recreation, working on that mind-body connection, that even though we're experiencing this, I don't have to feel ashamed and feel alone about it. I can have that power back, and so I can do something about it.
How many people do you have now on your rides, and how often do you do them? How long do they go for? Where do you go?
Every week is different. We're dealing.
Is it once a week? Oh, is it? Oh, I mean, it's literally different every week.
Yeah, Saturday is the only day that we're off. Just because we keep the Sabbath.
So you're doing it every day, basically.
Yeah. So last night, 8:00, I was downtown. I think we brought 5 bikes out for the veterans, and there's a handful of veterans that bring their bikes. But every Wednesday night, we ride with the Las Vegas Tall Bike Club. It's a shop with a Crank and Grind partnership downtown, so they host the ride. And so we'll just bring our box truck out with a few bikes, and whoever shows up, they've got a free bike. We participate with the community, and we're learning to overcome, the depression and, all the doom and gloom stuff that you normally hear, because a lot of veterans don't want to be around 100 other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So sometimes the personal ones.
It is a trigger for our veterans, but guess what? Because we're together, even though it's a trigger, I can deal with it better, right?
Okay.
I don't have to quit. Maybe, being around all these strangers does affect me in a negative way. I don't have to harm you. I don't have to say something inappropriate. I'm with people that care about me, my fellow veterans. And so I'm encouraged to keep on moving forward.
That's crazy. And then ages, are you getting like early 20s through to like late 60s? Like,
so
what's your age range?
Our oldest veteran that rode with us at the time was 96.
Really?
In the Veterans Day Parade, Charles McGee, General Charles McGee.
How cool is that?
Yeah. He just passed away at 102 years young, but his son has been with us since 2014 as well.
Really?
He's 71 right now. So again, he's still hanging around. His kids are older than me, but he's still hanging out and active, and that's what it's all about.
That's crazy.
With electric assist, it doesn't matter how old you are, your limitations. The electric assist allows us all to go at the same pace.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. What's the youngest you got?
Well,
you
active duty
kids
guys
too, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, next Wednesday, really proud of it. We have a young man, Alex Ramirez. His father's been with us since 2014. Again, I met his father at CSN, going to videography school at CSN.
Oh, really? Okay.
His son was, in high school at the time, so he came out riding, and all that. Then he went into the Navy. Now he got out the Navy, depressed and all that stuff. But now he's working again, and we're getting him a car donated next week. But that's the beautiful thing about it, to see, man, we're reaching these high schoolers who are going to go to the military. They're going to get out the military, but instead of them being homicidal and depressed, since they know us, we're moving forward. We're avoiding that.
You're letting someone know before they even go in. There's somewhere to go when they get out.
That's right.
That's crazy. Isn't
we tear down that stigma, because he doesn't have to feel the suicide. You could be depressed, but that doesn't mean you need to feel like, I'm so depressed that I should take my life. So I think that's what we've been able to do with this veteran. And then, like I said, next week, he's getting a car donated to him. So our organization sponsored it. This other company that's donating these cars, and that's just a beautiful thing, man. So imagine his father now. His father met us in 2014. He does a lot of our videography work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm serving his son. That makes that father feel so much special, and he realized that we truly do care about you. We're like family now. But it's something authentic.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. And is there a bit of accountability with it too? Like, hey, you're showing up because everyone else is showing up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, my friends are going, therefore, hey, no matter how I feel, I'm going to go because
that's for me, at least. We're trying to get other veterans to feel that way, but that's why I can't stop smiling and all that, because, even though I'm in pain, I just keep going forward because I feel comforted. You
So
know,
you're probably got no self-pity anymore, I'm guessing.
that's what was stigma free.
Yeah,
I'm
I was gonna
shameless.
say
That's our
you're
hashtag, stigma free.
probably the last thing you're thinking about is
Yeah.
anything.
What what you feel about me is none of my concern.
And no matter
Yeah.
what you're going through, you're seeing someone out there missing a limb or something like, hey, it could be a lot worse. What have I
Yeah.
got to complain about? I'm out here. That's so cool. I love
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
so.
Got
I'm
to
so
channel
glad
that energy somewhere.
Yeah.
Are we going to channel it to alcoholism, a drug problem? Am I going to channel it into a fifth wife? Am I going to channel that in pain into a gambling addiction? Or I'm going to channel that pain, which we've done, Veteran Peer Sport Outdoor Recreation.
Take it somewhere positive.
You got to.
How many people have you, would you say, served or helped, or what's the right word for that?
Thousands over the years.
Really?
Yeah. So, but that's where we're at.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Since so this is our 9th year going in September. Just
in
our
Vegas,
9th year.
or you started outside?
Right here.
Have you considered trying to do other states and other cities, or is that?
We just haven't had the resources. The good news is, as November 17th, the city is deciding. We applied for the North Las Vegas Community Cares grant.
Okay.
And so that's a $1.5 million grant for a 2-year budget. And so it started off over 70 people applied for it, and we're down to the final 11 actually nonprofits.
And you're in it.
Yeah, so they have enough money to give everybody what they want. It's just a matter, we'll find out November 17th how much of that 1.5 they're going to give us. But once that happens, now this is the first time I can actually hire veterans to help, because we're all volunteers right now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be able to get a bike shop open across the street from Craig Ranch Park.
Oh, really?
And now we could be open 7 days a week, being of service to those veterans and allow them to heal in their own time.
That's amazing.
Nobody's emergencies that you necessarily can plan for. Like right now, if I feel suicidal, I need somewhere to go. And there's nowhere to go in Las Vegas but self-destructive places to go, right?
Especially in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to get behind you and help, donate money, whatever it is, do they need to be a veteran, or do you take any type of help? Who are you looking for? What, talk to me about that.
Well, just like even today, videography work, doing videos, it's always a great thing because we can get a few videos edited, and those videos help veterans mark a positive point in their life. And so when they're depressed 6 months from now, they look at that video and they're like, oh yeah.
I never thought about that. Just
it's therapeutic.
But videography. Then you can also, that's what I do for a living, right? Videography, photography. So it's like you can leverage that video to help more people, get in front of more people, share it between everybody.
And it's therapeutic for that individual when they see themselves. They see themselves having a good time over there. Then they say, hey man, I need to get back out there, because veterans come and go. We just want to be available for them when they want us to be available for them.
That's crazy. Yeah. So if somebody wants to donate time or help, how do they go about it? They reach out to you?
Yeah, just go to our website, forgottennotgone.org. There's a contacts section. We also have a program called Catch a Fire. It's for nonprofits of how we can get skilled labor. So a lot of times, like, our branding, we need graphic work. We go to that Catch a Fire website, and we're able to get different people to help out. So I have 5 projects going on right now. I have a business plan. Volunteers are helping with. We got their website, back office things. But I have 5 different skilled labor projects that people are helping us with our operation side. So we always need a video editors, photography, as far as help, or people want to actually help us with the daily ride. Sometimes we need somebody just to drive our box truck. Simple as
just the simple stuff, right?
Yeah. And then also donations always help.
How do donations work? Like, what's the best way of going about that?
Yeah, on our website, same thing, forgottennotgone.org. There's a few different donate options on there. They can consider a monthly donation. We also have a campaign going on right now to have our license plate approved. So we have we're trying to get a Forgotten Not Gone specialty license plate approved.
Oh, nice.
Just like the Golden Knights have.
Yeah.
So
just for branding, getting the name out more.
Yeah, so the Golden Knights had 40,000 people decided to purchase that license plate. So when you look at that, that's probably maybe around 800,000 that charity receives.
Oh wow.
Now, what does the Golden Knights charity do with their donations?
I have no idea.
Me either. But they're a lot more than us.
Okay.
And you see what we're doing.
So by buying the license plate, you're actually getting money from it.
Yeah.
So it's a donation, but you're actually getting a product.
So our goal is to get 5,000 people in the state of Nevada to be willing to get our license plate. So, we could drop a thing in the description when you post the video. But it has the DMV license plate campaign on our website. So they could just go down there, make a commitment to get the license plate and help us reach more people. But
that's crazy.
We can get 5,000 people to say they are going to get a license plate. That's basically $100,000. And what that's allow us to do to get about a 3,000 square foot place here in town. That's not enough to store all our bikes, but it's step one.
I like how you got money goals, but you know exactly where that money needs to go.
Yeah.
Like you're 10 steps ahead.
Downtown, there's a place that would be awesome for us to go, but you're looking at $160,000 because there's $4 a square foot downtown. Okay. But I could do so much better of a job if I had a place like that. But where's the money going to come from? And like we said, the reason why it's called Forgotten Not Gone. People know we exist and all that. They haven't just been expired to help us up to this point because it's not their son and daughter dying. Okay. It's somebody else's kids dying.
Are you with what you're doing, veterans, military? Are you getting a lot of police support? Are they helping you out as much? They're not hassling you on the streets when you're doing your rides and things.
Not normally.
Are they more assisting, or are they?
Sometimes downtown they're a little hostile. Like one, I had it on video. One of the police officers says they're running a light. The police was telling somebody to go ahead and run the light and run us over, because we were running through lights. So you have like 100 cyclists. We're just all going through the light. And the cop literally got on his CV and told the person in front of him just to go through the light and run us over.
Oh, Jesus.
But that's not, happens all the time.
But for the most part, would you say they're on your side trying to help out?
Yeah, a lot of them start because some of them were our military as well.
A lot of them are ex-military anyway, right?
But even if they don't help us, we support them. But last month there was a night out. I forgot the title, but it's a police night out. So we went over there and support them. So even if they don't support us, I'm supporting you guys. We appreciate what you do. Not everybody's anti-police and all that. Just sometimes we may have a different opinion. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know I can't just complain about it. I got to show up so they see my face and understand our struggles, and so they could be a better service to us as well.
What is moving forward? What is the goal?
So, like I said, November 17th, we're going to figure out how much of that grant we're going to be able to receive. We get the full 1.5 million. That means within 6 months, we're going to have our bicycle shop open up. But it's going to be the first, as far as my understanding, in the state of Nevada, that is special recumbent bike shop. Normally you just have the two-wheel bicycle. So our bike shop is going to be specific and selling different recumbent trikes, four-wheel bicycles, custom bikes of that nature. All the bikes that we have right now, that bike shop's going to be able to support. We'll have a mechanic, we'll have staff, and we'll be up and running. Like 2023, this is our year. Like 9 years later, after struggling getting to this point, we now have the physical resources to really increase our capacity to serve. So I'm looking at having a 10x growth factor. Instead of helping a couple hundred veterans, a month, we're going to be helping a couple hundred veterans a week now with these resources.
That's crazy. Where else can you go from that? I mean, do you just get bigger and bigger inside, like
rinse and repeat in the wherever community? So
how do I get another one of you in a different, like Chicago?
Well, so now when we're done with this 2-year grant, I would have all the tangible numbers. So I could say, hey, we took 1.5 million. This is how many veterans we serve. Here goes the demographics of the veteran we serve. Does it make sense for you to give us a grant? But at least we'd have all these tangible things. So that's what I'm excited that the next 2 years is going to be a wild ride for us. But after that, we'll have that tangible social proof that we can just rinse and repeat in any state in America.
Gotcha.
Because it's just a dollar amount. If somebody says, hey, I got $1.5 million for you to move to Nebraska, well, I'm there tomorrow. Okay. We don't lack capacity. We just lack capital.
But don't we need more of you, though, to do that?
Well, there's plenty of veterans. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, it takes a certain type of person.
But there's plenty of veterans that's out there that's capable of doing the job.
Okay.
I'm just.
So you're the blueprint.
I'm just a cog in the wheel.
Okay, but we need more cogs like you to rinse and repeat, like you said.
So imagine we just take the same thing, open up a bicycle shop, whether it be Florida, Texas, And again, do the same thing we're doing right now. The only thing
Okay.
stopping us is just a literally arbitrary dollar amount.
Okay.
See, North Las Vegas is giving us this money, not Las Vegas, not Henderson, nowhere else. That's why our focus is North Las Vegas the next 2 years, because they're the ones that are funding the mission.
Okay.
So any place in America that wants to do the same thing, if you care about veterans in your community and you want us to be the service to help solve those problems, we're available and ready and willing.
Okay.
You know?
What is the power of social media for you guys? Is it helping you? Is that where you're getting exposure from? Like,
Well, we need to get more, and that's a challenge.
what is the challenge of your social media?
Is this, I'm pretty much a pioneer stuck trying to do social media posts at the same time. So this morning, I've been up since 6 o'clock moving bikes. Veterans at my house at 7 o'clock.
So no time to sit there and take photos and
edit.
like
I got a couple of terabytes worth of videos that just unedited. So eventually,
Gotcha.
when we can start getting support to edit some of the videos, that
Okay.
was going to allow us now to attract more veterans. But veterans got to see something cool, fun, and all that to make them want to go. So we had help with promo videos. Like imagine a promo "Get Out the Damn House" video. You take those suffering veterans and you show the positive light of them overcoming those disabilities. Now that starts, attracting those other veterans to say, "Hey, man, let me get off the house and then go try that out."
I like what you're getting.
And once
at
they
here.
try it out, it's all over with.
Talk to me about this.
Yeah.
Actually, what are some of your favorite stories, your favorite experiences, things you're like, oh my god, this just made this whole thing worthwhile? Like, what's some things pop in your mind?
I just really, when I'm able to see that suffering veteran get on the other side of it, because that was me just yesterday.
Can you think of any particular pope or certain age or someone who you really didn't think could, like, you know what I mean? There's got to be some favorite things there.
Like what I mentioned earlier, General McGee.
Like 97, you said, right?
Yeah, 96 at the
96.
time. 96. But he's world famous. They just, before he passed away last year, they named a hangar after him. That was in Texas. They named a hangar after him. But he was the last 302nd Tuskegee Airman alive in his squadron. So he truly is world famous. He's a world famous fighter pilot. He served in 3 wars. World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
So I had a privilege of being around people like this and think about it, I'm still with his son all the time. His son's been with us, and he's a fighter pilot as well. And, also being around certain people, too. I don't always get to see people who look like me achieve certain goals. And I've been privileged to see some people that look like me as well do some amazing things.
What do you mean look like you? What do you mean
fellow black veterans.
Oh.
Like how many black pilots do you know? Fighter pilots. They exist. I just don't know them,
So this one's tricky for me because I'm Australian. I'm not used to like the mixed races, the different cultures. So I never really seen it that way until I've moved here.
Well, but the indigenous Australian population.
Yeah, exactly, like the Aboriginals, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the Black Ariel coming out. You seen that? Ariel, the Disney princess.
Okay, yes.
She's black.
Yeah.
And I've never looked at it like that because I've just not being black. I never looked at it. But it literally put a tear in my eye the other day seeing that.
Yeah.
So you're saying the same thing happens with fighter pilots and different privileges in the military.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So when I served, they told us that racism doesn't exist. You guys are just race baiters, this and that. Nobody took our challenges serious. But it's bittersweet because it's just like in the last 2 years, the Air Force actually came out and they documented the racism in the military. This is from the very top. So it's not like me telling you that, but I just know certain things exist. But more than just talking about it, I want to know, how do I deal with it and move forward? How do I not be a hate monger and have that same viewpoint on a whole race of people just because these idiots are, treating me this matter?
How do you do that though?
Being around those senior vets. So, just like this morning, one of the guys, 71 Vietnam era vets, they've been through all the racism and all that. So why aren't they jaded? I've been able to see the solutions at how to move forward. But we need to be trained and we need to have that explained to us how to deal with it because we take it so personal. We just have to learn not to allow it to affect us so much.
Okay, I get what you're getting at.
I realize we're all fighting for resources, and at the end of the day, some people treat us less than for a reason, but that's because they want to remain on top. I could understand that. That's why we fighting in the military, right? We want to be the superior nation, the world power, right? And before America there was the British, and before the British, there was the Romans, there's always been one nation of people that told everybody else what to do.
Yeah.
So what side do you want to be on is the only question.
Okay. I want to go back to to the basics. So it's PTSD, isn't it?
Yeah, post-traumatic stress.
So what is that exactly? What causes that, and what is the struggle with that? Is it what you see in war? Is it what you experience? Is it the way you're treated? And why does it become such a negative thing afterwards?
Yeah, so post-traumatic stress is not just a military issue, but what they're trying to do is put a label on something to bring clarity of what's going on with that veteran. Back in the days, like Vietnam, they called it shell shock, which is probably a better, name for it, because certain veterans were actually seeing dead bodies or moral guilt, different things they were going through. They actually, were suffering from that point of view. And that's where they were having what's say post-traumatic stress. You just saw your buddy, somebody you care about, just die.
Yeah.
And that memory you can't get out of your mind. You're constantly reliving that. But there's people in the community. I mean, how many people women been raped in the world, right? It's traumatic, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in there. But it's just that actual title or that label is just something they're trying to assign just to be able to start helping them with their mental health. But I said labels are for containers, not for people.
Labels for containers, not for
labels
people.
are for containers, not for people.
Okay.
So
So is there different forms of it then? If you if you served but you didn't fight in a war or something, is there different forms of that you can go through?
Yeah. You remember PTSD is just a traumatic experience. There's certain people again that have more harsher, I guess, lack of better words. Like some people just seen so many dead bodies and their friends, and that's why they're suffering.
Okay, just from general life.
Yeah, but then you have other people who have they've been raped in the military. That's a big problem.
Okay.
Men and women.
Really?
Yeah.
So
even men are getting raped in the military.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, that was a different. When I got out the military, that was when I was in the service. That wasn't going on like now. But
really,
those unfortunate things happen. So people are actually ashamed, and again, it's that post-traumatic stress that they're still suffering. So they're just trying to put a label on something so they can start helping address the mental health.
Okay.
I try not to make a big deal about it because it's not like I've got some special label. Well, I got PTSD. I've got some special pain that nobody else has. I got the same pain that a lot of other people have. It's just mine was caused in the military.
Okay. And then where are we going wrong? Like how we treating this wrong because we're trying to put a Band-Aid on it. We're trying to give you drugs and like a short-term fix.
Well,
is that what we're doing wrong?
Well, the challenge is we're trying to get paid off the veteran suffering.
That's interesting.
So, for instance, we'll say that cannabis is illegal. You want to allow veterans to have access to that, and they're using it for their mental health. You have millions of veterans that have used cannabis, and they've gotten better and moved on with their life.
Okay.
But you won't allow that to be dispensed, and you hide behind FDA labels. But then you'll give me Seroquel, which is causing side effects, it's causing suicidal ideation and all this stuff.
Is that super addictive?
No, not the not narcotics, but not the psychotropics that I'm aware of. It just destroyed my brain, so I have a lot of brain fog and just different like learning challenges now from taking that medicine for so long. So I've been off of it everything since 10 years now.
I love how you got rid of that with natural, healthy alternative.
Yeah.
Are they giving out like oxys and things like that? Is that used for PTSD, like addictive type drugs? Like I guess pain medicine, right? You're in a lot of pain, so I'm sure they're giving out things that mask pain too, right?
Yeah, they used to. They used to offer narcotics, and now a lot of people they didn't want to even give that because a lot of people were abusing it. But again, it goes back to you want to. These are simple solutions we have, but you don't want to hear the veteran solution. You want to hear your FDA, patent pending solution and all that. So if you're not going to listen to the actual people that are saying this is how you can help me, and you don't want to hear it, that's the challenge. But it goes back to again, it's their profit, and unfortunately, that's just a challenge we have in this country is that people are willing to make profit off of your pain and suffering. I could do something better. I could get cannabis legalized, but you're going to mess up my psychotropic money. So the hell with you veterans.
Okay, interesting. And then I just wanted to touch on just finishing up with What do you tell somebody who's not quite ready to come out, not quite ready to reach out to someone like you, not quite ready to get involved? What do you kind of get across to someone as far as don't take your own life? There is an alternative. Things can get better. What are the stepping stones from your personal experience?
I think showing people, because there's a lot of veterans that have been knowing for years that we're on good terms that never come riding with us. It takes some time. There's one veteran that rode with us the beginning of this summer is for the first time. I met him in Utah like 5 years ago.
Really?
Good terms. We talked back and forth. He saw us even on our outreaches a few times. I was walking down Craig Ranch. We were doing a 5-mile walk, and he was in Applebee's. He comes out, hey, how you guys doing? So we're on good terms, but he still didn't come back out. It just takes some veterans a lot of times, but what really gets it from when they see other veterans getting after it, they're like, damn, I'm missing out. Or especially if they get somebody they can look down on it. Because I was walking with a 4-prong cane up until recently. So when they see somebody like me that visually can see damage, but yet I'm still getting after it, I'm smiling, all that, it burns them up.
What's your excuse if I can do it?
Yeah, without saying it though, because they see it. And so
you're leading by example.
That's the best thing.
You're walking the walk. You're not just talking the talk.
And I'm not criticizing you, condemn you. If you're not ready, I get it. But I'm on to the next veteran. And we're going to keep helping veterans every single day that we're capable of. If the good Lord wakes me up tomorrow, I'm going to get up and be of service to a veteran. Or I can sit at home and talking, doom and gloom about my pain and all that, because it's ever with me. It's all the time. I dealt with a lot of depression this last year. One person
at a time, more people to talk about, more people to sneeze, more people leading by example. Yeah, it's going to help filter and get more people.
Because remember, it's that ego on us as veterans too. Damn, he's getting after it, and I'm sitting over here. I'm better than that guy, but I'm sitting at home talking smack and not leaving my house. And eventually he's going to say, man, I'm coming out there and I'm going to get after it.
And I'm guessing if you're military, you're going to have this competitive streak.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you got that.
Yeah, but I don't have to do it in a negative way. They just naturally see it. That's them. It's like, man, I see those disabled guys getting after it. I'm better than them. I'm going to come show them up. Hey.
Okay, so when I go to the gym, I've seen a couple guys at the gym, and they're obviously ex-military. They're missing a leg or something. They're super jacked. They're in good shape. They got a pretty girlfriend there. It inspires me. I'm like, damn, if he can do that, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I got no problems. I need to work harder.
Yeah, that's what we need to see.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, positive example.
Love that.
Yeah, that's what I say. We overcomplicate mental health too much. You got too many smart people trying to regurgitate what they read in a pamphlet. I realize people want to be treated a certain way. People want to feel like their concerns are being addressed and that you care. And that's a personal decision whether you want to care on a personal level or not.
So. Love that. So just finish off with, someone wants to donate time, donate money, just give that information again. So
if somebody wants to donate time or participate for GodNotGone.org. They can also, our phone number is area code 702-706-5777. Really easy to get on. They can also send us a message on social media. But we ride pretty much most mornings, Craig Ranch. And we're just excited about this coming, 6 months once we have these new resources that were on our website that's going to be redone. We're going to be able to start booking out and telling you exactly where we're going to be and have those resources to be better available.
And once you do get the money, what are you going to need help with the most after that? Is it going to be more people power?
Yeah. How do we support more veterans getting on our bikes? So every morning we'll make ourselves available with the new Veterans Resource Center. We'll do a morning ride, and how do we do an evening ride as well? Okay. And again, I can't always be there, so if we had somebody responsible that says, "Hey, I want to lead a ride," again, all they got to do is drive our box truck, make sure all of our bikes get taken out and put back in correctly. It's really simple. It's a lot of fun, though. It's not slave labor over here. We're having fun. Yeah.
And then it seems like photography, videography, social media, you can definitely.
Yeah, because like today, if somebody was in a videography or photography, I was around the next mayor. So we had the mayor pro temp and then her running candidate. But all the policymakers, decision makers, North Las Vegas, the different elected officials, they were all there today. A few of them got on our bikes. But what if imagine somebody was filming that? because I'm out here,
No,
helping them get on the
get it.
bike.
You can only do so much.
Yeah, no, Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
We're already bringing the veterans out, but what if somebody says, "Hey, I'll come and just a videographer, video the thing for you." We've had people like that just came out and video the ride. But that edit now is going to be a lasting impression for that veteran years on end. Yeah, something that simple. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of easy way to be of support that doesn't cost any money. It's just your time.
Yeah.
What if somebody once a month says, "Hey, I'll come out once a month and I'll do this for you, or I'll drive the truck, or I'll take some pictures." It doesn't have to be all the time.
Just something.
Yeah. But it's a huge deal. We're a really lean organization. We make the best out of the limited resources we have. We make the best out of it.
There's this saying: it's not a lack of resources; it's a lack of resourcefulness.
Yep.
And you're living and breathing that.
Yeah, that's what's funny. At 9 years, we have over 60 bikes without a budget. We've been bootstrapping this every month. When we get a couple $100 donations come in, but the car insurance alone for the box truck, the bus, that's over $1,000. But it's been me and my wife using my retirement income for the last 9 years to keep Forgotten I Gone afloat, right? And so now we're finally going to be out of my pocket. I can
you can actually start
have a quality life myself. But exciting times.
Thank you so much. That was absolute pleasure. I'm so grateful for you coming on, and I love what I do with this, and that was probably one of the most inspiring conversations.